Hi, Destiny Squad. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. I saw mommy kissing Santa Claus. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart. The very next day, you gave it away. Santa Claus, do you ever go to the ghetto? Santa Claus, we would love to see all those faces glow. All I want for Christmas is you. Hi, Destiny Squad. How are you doing? I hope that you are all doing well. Yep, it's that time of the year again when some people, to be honest with you, Christmas is my favorite time of the year. Money, no money, I just love Christmas. There is just something about Christmas. I don't know, I love to see the Christmas lights. I just feel like a little child whenever it's Christmas. And I don't know if anybody else is like that. But the real question is Christmas any less special without expensive presents under the tree? Hmm. Let's think about that. But before we actually start talking about that, I want to say thank you so much for your support. And of course, it has not slipped me. I can see that we are heading to the 300 subscribers mark. Thank you for those who have been subscribing. Thank you for those who have been sharing. And of course, tell a friend to tell a friend to actually come on board. There is something for everyone. And listen, for those who have been telling me that I need to get, like have a guest on the live sometimes, please, of course, that is coming on board, but give me a little time to get comfortable in the chair first. You see, I'm just starting getting used to being in the chair. So, of course, it will take time, but definitely, I promise you that in due course, of course, guests will be coming on. I must say I'm on a little earlier than norm, but it's okay, I guess, because based on something else that I have going on, then of course, I thought I would come on 10 minutes early. But of course, that I know that people will be able to see the live as a video after the recording is finished. So that's out of the way. Let us begin. So, of course, the question, like I have said, is Christmas any less special without expensive presents under the tree? And I know some adults like to see presents under the tree, but specifically, I'm talking about children this time around. And of course, you would be pleased to know that based on the Lancashire Telegraph newspaper, almost half of parents are planning to spend less on Christmas gifts this year. So if you were there thinking, okay, everybody is going to still be spending a lot of money, just know that you are not the only one who is probably cash strapped, or for some reason you're thinking that you just cannot afford to put as many presents under the tree like you always have. So, a new research has suggested that almost half of parents who celebrate Christmas are more likely to spend less on gifts for their children this year. Meanwhile, 55% of parents of children age 18 and under in Britain are likely to reduce their spending on food and drink this Christmas. A survey charity According to the survey charity Barnardos. For those of you who are not aware of what Barnardos is, they are a charity that protects, supports, and nurture the UK's most vulnerable kids. So there's no need for you to actually feel as if you are the only one who will not be spending large, going all out on Christmas this time around. And who knows, perhaps I know that some parents have been doing it already, but could it be time for us to start teaching our children that there is also joy in giving as much as there is joy in receiving? Is it time for us to sort of sit them down? Because you know that a lot of the times the guilt that we feel around giving gifts for children, buying expensive gifts for children, is mostly on the adults. Sometimes the children don't even care, and it all depends on how you actually approach it, right? So perhaps it is time for us to, sort of sit children down. Sometimes if we're having financial problem, we think that children don't understand. Don't underestimate them. It's probably time we start sitting them down, because I'm going to say at the age of 5 upwards, if you sit them down and you explain certain things to them, they actually understand. So perhaps it is time that we actually, start teaching them reality. And of course, you know that sometimes they understand more than you think, because you have to understand that these children go to school. So it's not just what you teach them that they are learning, they have friends, and they are seeing things as well. And of course, I don't know, perhaps it is time that we bring back a bit of humility into things. I don't know how many of you have seen the show on Channel 4. I think it is Rich Kid, Poor Kid. And you realize that almost in every case, after the experience where the rich kid takes on the life of the poor kid for, a little while, perhaps a week or so forth, you realize that the rich kid actually comes back with being much more, I would say, appreciative of what they have. They are more humble and what have you. So you never can tell, if you start having conversations, if we start having conversations with our children to the extent where we get them to understand that, look, in some parts of the world, the children actually are in need of food, put it that way. You have all the food. Thank God that in Britain, you have access to clean water, you have access to food, or even if you don't have food, of course, there are, I would say, resources that you can tap into. When I say resources that you can tap into, I'm talking about, we actually have food bank. And of course, I know that it's not everything, it's not enough. But do not underestimate children. They actually know more than we actually let on, right? So don't be afraid to actually sit them down, because this year is actually a recession year. And when I talk about rich kid and starting to explain, what's going on in other parts of the world, it is not about guilt tripping them or anything like that. It is not about letting them feel a bit guilty. And I'm talking about those who actually are rich. When I say, look, let them know about other parts of the world and everything like that. I am talking as well about even those who don't have a lot, right? What we have to start doing is to start looking on the brighter side. Perhaps we need to start going back to, days of old, when, of course, some people did not have a lot of money, but they still had good Christmas. They enjoyed their Christmas if you actually ask them. Perhaps for this Christmas, if there's not a lot of money around, perhaps what we can start doing is planning ahead of time. So, for example, there are quite a lot of free events coming up. I know that if you notice, I said that planning. So, things that you are going to do to sort of make up for not having presents. But remember, like I have said, some children don't care. A lot of children, what they care about is the quality time that they spend with you, and it's all about the effort that you make. A lot of children will remember what they actually did. So it's not about the big presents or anything like that. Perhaps it is time that we start spending some time with the children. And in saying planning ahead, I'm thinking about, perhaps if you start thinking, say, okay, if there's not going to be a lot of presents, what if I plan to have like games around? What if I plan that the activities will include like cake baking, or what you call them, gingerbread man, or anything like that. And don't even say that you don't know how to cook, you don't know how to bake or anything like that, because with YouTube, honestly, everything is at your fingertips these days. So, perhaps it is time that we actually start doing something that, is a bit different. For children under the age of 5, I would say in planning, because in the UK, you have a lot of free events going on over the Christmas. And I'm well aware that, school will break up really soon. So you need to start planning really early. So, for example, you could plan to take your children down to, what is it called? Is it Oxford Street, to see the street lights, and of course, have them take little pictures and everything like that. All of that will form memory for the children. But I'm going to say, look, you have to plan your journey carefully. Don't go passing a lot of shops with toys and anything like that. In some cases, perhaps what you need to do for yourself before you take the children is to actually do like a little dry run, so that you know where are the, the little spots that you need to avoid. It is not you tricking the children, it is you enabling them to sort of focus on what really you want them to be a part of. And it is about them actually having a good time when you really look into it. So, like I've said, it's not really about the big gifts. As far as I'm concerned, it's not really about the big gifts. If you were accustomed to giving big gifts, then of course you need to start talking soon. Because if this year is going to be different, then perhaps you need to start planning from now, start up setting it up, set the scene, and everything like that. A lot of children, like I have said, the expensive gifts, they don't really care. I remember when my children were probably from 2 or probably 3 years of age, what I used to do, because at that tender age, they actually don't understand money or anything like that. But because I wanted to teach them that there is also joy in giving, what I would do is I would actually give them £1. So those of you who live in the UK, you will know about £1 shop. So I would give them each £1 because they need to buy gifts, even buying gifts for each other. And you would be surprised when they go into the £1 shop, even if it is not something that I would pick up, as you still let them pick it up, because it is how they process things. And you would be surprised to know that simple things like those, they actually remember, right? And of course, for some people as well, remember that you have a lot of charities where you have, I would say, children charity, where of course they are in need. So if you, for example, allow your child, what I would do is that I would first probably watch a video with the child about probably the less fortunate. And then what you could do is to probably encourage the child, just talk to the child, to ask them if they would be interested in actually giving something to the individual who is less fortunate. So what would happen is that you would probably take the child, after having a discussion and everything like that, what it could do is go out with the child and you have them pick something, choose something, perhaps a gift, a toy, no matter how simple. And then you are going to say, okay, now we are going to, for example, Barnardo's charity, and we are going to give this toy to somebody for donate this toy so that that toy can be given to someone who is less fortunate. You would be surprised at how much that would stick with the child. You would be surprised how much they actually understand their stance, in that even if they don't get toys for 1 year, for this year, or even if they don't get an expensive toy, then of course they will appreciate what you are doing for them. Be it make a meal, anything that you do, the least of little things that you do, you would find out that they would be more appreciative. And in being more appreciative, you'll realize that they are probably more joyful in that they were able to give something of, something, no matter how small, to somebody who actually doesn't have what what they are enjoying. So, this is what I wanted to say, that look, it is time. Christmas can still be Christmas, even if you don't have big presents under the Christmas tree. It is all about us, the adults. How do we approach it? Are we going to be moaning with the child to say, look, there is no big presents under the Christmas tree? Or are we going to still ensure that the child has fun? When the child gets into a funk, are we going to talk the child out of a funk, right? Or are we going to join in? Like I have said, it's all about planning, right? So if you plan for the day to go well, even without a lot of thought, a lot of gifts, where perhaps you can have little games or something that you can do with the child on the day to ensure that even if there's not a lot of money around, that the child still have fun. And of course, it's not just the child who is to have fun. You are to ensure that you have fun while you're doing it as well. Because remember, children do pick up on our moods. So if you are forcing it, if deep down you are allowing guilt to take hold of you, then of course that can pass on to the child. So you are going to be very gracious. You are going to set the scene, like I have said, either take them out to, little free Christmas events, because you actually have quite a lot. As a matter of fact, what I did was that I went on Google, and I actually, let me tell you what I typed in, and I saw quite a lot of events in the UK. So let me just find the Google thing that I typed in so that I can tell you where you can look to if you want to actually do take your children out. So I've typed in free Christmas events for children. So type that in, whatever comes up. There, as a matter of fact, there were actually over 20 to choose from. So what you could do is that you could actually choose the one that is closest to you, so that at least, when the children are out of, which is next week, I think most schools will close next week, Thursday or Friday. At least when they are off, you would already have things in motion. Everything is planned, and you know what is happening leading up to the day. Also, you could take the time to incorporate something that actually gets them to understand that Christmas is not just a one-time thing. You could seize the opportunity as well to teach them about money, and actually not spending everything on one day, because of course, you have so many other days. Teach them budgeting, everything like that. But yes, that's a good idea, budgeting, because everybody needs to know about it. You break it down to their level. So you could say, okay, mommy has 100 pounds, mommy has 50 pounds to spend for Christmas. Okay, what if we decide on the things that we want to pick up? What can we get? And you are going to, don't walk into the store. That's the first mistake. You are going to plan from home. You are going to put all your items on. Make sure that you put the important items at the top. And you are going to use Google. Go on those companies' websites, go on those supermarket sites, and you are going to find the price for each of those items. And you are going to check it down, 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 right? And you are going to work it with the child. And then you are going to teach them about prioritizing. And you would be surprised to know how less stressful it's going to be for you and for the child as well, because you're teaching them money management, but at the same time you are teaching them life skill as well. So yes, this is what I think. I hope that this video is useful, especially because it is coming up, it's before Christmas. So of course you have enough time to plan ahead on what route you want to take to ensure that everybody has a good Christmas, even without money, because we are in a recession and recession does not respect anybody. And living in a recession, we are in a recession means that we are not going to just have one day Christmas. We are going to ensure that that money lasts. And we are the adults. We have to take charge. Okay? Okay. Some of you would have noticed already that I have included a live stream for Saturday, because I can see where some parts of Jamaica is on, what is it called again? Let me see. What is it? That word, can you imagine that word slip me? What it is called? Simple words. Yeah, I'm getting old. You don't have to tell me. I'm getting old and I am proud of it. But the word that I am looking for is state of emergency. So Sky News actually reported that Jamaica imposes widespread state of emergency to fight surge in gang violence. So I know that some of you will be thinking, oh, Saturday, why is it so early? Look, when it is Saturday, you relax, stay in your bed and just watch, right? Because it is something that we have to talk about. And don't worry, I have some videos coming up that I'm going to make, that I need to, take care of on Saturday. Videos that I'm sure that you will enjoy it, because for this week, you notice that I haven't done a lot of videos. Yes, I have posted every day, but that was mainly about like the skit, and here I'm doing a live. But don't worry, next week we're going back on track, and in order to go back on track, your girl actually needs to do some planning as well. And of course, I want to do some outdoorsy stuff. Like I've said, I just love Christmas, so I want to go outdoors and I want to see what's going on, and I want to make videos around that. And of course, I haven't done a fashion video in a while. So yeah, your girl needs to put her stuff together. So remember, for the first time, I'm actually having a weekend live stream. And of course, you don't need to worry, because it will turn into a video afterwards. And just to say, yes, I'll be bringing people on to discuss, whenever I have certain topics, etc. Thank you so much for your support. Remember, we grow together. And of course, I'm going to say peace. Love you guys. Bye.